Hi, good morning and welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 937 and we are here live in Southwest Florida at the beach. We are all the way down at the water's edge this morning. I'm even below that little mini cliff that was created from all the rough waves the other day. I'll show you when we turn the camera around and I show you my surroundings. If you're joining me live, please say hello. Let me know if you're crafting this morning. Let me know if you have questions for me. Yes, happy Wednesday, also known as Happy Hump Day. Hope everybody's having a great day so far. Hi Joe, hi Lisa, hi Lori, hi Judy. Good morning. Hi Leona. Hi Patricia, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hi, Julie and Thea, Lily, Grace, Debbie. Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Carrie and Suze, Donna. Good morning. Welcome back to the Kristin Omdahl Show. This is episode 937. Hi, Eve, and we are live in Southwest Florida at the beach. Hi, Val. Excuse me. As I promised, I am wearing the t-shirt from Teespring, the one that you can see in the, I think it's an advertisement below the video. I'm wearing the XXL, 2XL size, and also, as I promised, I was going to cut the neckline out because there's, I don't know, maybe it's growing up with Flashdance as a movie, maybe it's just growing up in the 80s, I don't know, but I sure love an oversized t-shirt with the neck cut out where you can see a coordinating colored sports bra underneath. I love it. I still love this style. And I'm wearing one of my oldest pair of leggings right now too, which is funny because old ones don't have pockets in them, and I so much miss having my cell phone pocket, but that's okay. So just to give you an idea of size, I think the length is actually quite generous considering it's not a tall, it's just a regular 2XL. So anyway, this is a 2XL from Teespring with the Kristin Omdahl Show logo on it. Neckline cut out this morning on my desk. And what else am I going to say about it? I am 5'9", 180 pounds, so you can get an idea of how big this may or may not be on you based on knowing my size and what size I'm wearing. So hopefully that helps. Hi Steffi, good morning. Hi Kiranjit, hi Debbie, good morning. Sorry if I missed your names. I'm happy for everybody to be here. Thanks so much for taking time out of your day to spend a few minutes with me. All right, before we get started on the tutorial I want to share with you this morning, let's look at the beach. See that ridge that's created in the beach? That's from being pounded by all those big waves the last couple of days. And so I am sitting below the ridge, close to the water. So yes, I am taking the risk of getting wet, but that's okay. Everybody thinks it's funny if I get wet anyway. So I heard a rattle in the bushes on my way through the boardwalk from the parking lot to here this morning. I sure hope it wasn't a rattlesnake, but yeah, I'm already a little about walking back through there to get to the car, but hey, we'll see. But I did hear a little rattle as I walked by, and I don't know, hopefully there are other things that rattle besides rattlesnakes. That's what I'm hoping at the moment. Hi Rosemary, good morning. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate you being here. So yesterday we conceptually talked a whole lot about how you could take the pattern for the brand new Koa scarf and convert it into bigger things easily, and I realize some of you probably got that right away, whether you're experienced at modifying patterns or have a good concept of math. If you don't, that's why I thought I'd bring the board today and go over some of the ways, some of the really simple ways to modify this pattern and get a really quick yardage estimate for making bigger projects. So let's do it. might need to move this back a little bit so you can see, oh, there we go, you can see the whole board now. Okay, so real quick, we'll look at the scarf in case you're not familiar with it. This is the brand new Koa crochet scarf. It is a 2-ball project in Be So Vivid yarn, which is my number 4 worsted weight, 70% cotton, 30% acrylic, self-striping yarn. This is colorway You, Me, and the Sea. It comes in lots of beautiful self-striping colors. 2-ball project to make this scarf 10 inches wide and 66 inches tall. With and the gauge is available. It's everything you need to know to make the scarf is written in the pattern, and you can find that on my website. It is not it's not identical on both sides, but I still say I would still call this a reversible scarf simply because it is so gorgeous on both sides. So we've got some post stitches combined with regular double crochets in this chevron stitch pattern. This is the reverse side where you see the back post double crochet texture, and this is the front side where you see the front post double crochet texture. And as you can see side by side, it doesn't look like you're exposing the wrong side or back side. They're both equally as beautiful, which means that this is a pattern that I feel very confidently is something that is reversible. Reversible meaning in this case that it is beautiful on both sides, not that it's identical on both sides. So anyway, the stitch pattern is a multiple of 20 plus 2. So I brought out the board to do some sketching and to do some minor math to give you some yardage and size estimates based on this gauge, this yarn, and this pattern of how you could convert this to a shawl or an afghan easily, and show you the easy math for figuring out your stitch count to start, and also figuring out your number of balls. Okay, so let's start by drawing the scarf. Okay, so let's say this is the scarf, 10 inches wide. Can you see what I'm doing? I think you can. I can't make the camera come lower, I can only make it go further away, so hopefully you can see this. If not, you might want to zoom in on it. Thanks, Marcia. And it's 66 inches long this way. Well, the good news is 2 things. You're casting on and you're working in one direction, whether it's up or down doesn't matter. So if you want to adjust the 66-inch length, obviously that means working more rows of the stitch pattern. That's easy to figure out. But let's say you want to make it wider. And 66 inches, I believe, is long enough that we don't have to modify that to talk about both a shawl and an afghan. So here's what I'm thinking. If this is 10 inches wide, and the stitch pattern is a multiple of 20 plus 2, okay? So for this exact scarf, notice how I did a dashed line down the middle? I did that to indicate that there are 2 pattern repeats in this pattern. So if the stitch pattern is a multiple of 20 plus 2, and we have 2 stitch patterns, multiple of 20 times 2 is how you figure out your starting number of stitches. So we've got 2 repeats times 20 plus 2. We're going to do what's in parentheses first. 2 times 20 is 40 plus 2. 42 is our stitch count for beginning this pattern. And if you refer to the pattern, you will see that row 1 says it's foundation single crochet 42 times. Okay? That's all written out, but I'm showing you the math so that we can use this math to do the other steps. Okay, so this is for the scarf. Let's draw same length, 66 inches. And I'm just going to guess on this here. So let's say we did Let's say we did 6 repeats so that we could do 30 inches wide by 66 inches long for a shawl. That's reasonable, right? 30 inches wide times 66 inches long would be a decent shawl. If you think you would want it longer than 66 inches, obviously you would want to add more yarn for that as well, but we're going to talk about that in a minute. So let's just go by this pattern, which is 2 balls, and making it wider for a shawl for 30 by 66, which is a reasonable size for not only a rectangular wrap shawl, but still using clips or corset ties or shawl pin or buttons or whatever to convert it into a poncho or that, you know, quasi vest look that we did with the Layla. All that can be done with this size as well. So if this was 2 repeats and this is 6 repeats, let's do the math. 6 times 20 plus 2. 6 times 20 is 120 plus 2. This would be 122 foundation single crochets to start your first row, to then do 30 inches wide instead of 10 inches wide. So if this one is 2 balls and we tripled the width, then this would be 6 balls of yarn. Okay? Does that make sense? I'm going to pause before talking about turning this into an afghan until I make sure that everybody's happy with what we discussed here. I'm kind of glad that this is kind of low on the screen because you can still see the view so perfectly too. So if this is boring, you can ignore me and just watch that. Okay, so we don't even need to draw the afghan, right? So I'm just going to do a quick drawing of an afghan. It's going to be more square shaped, and I figured we would want it double as wide. So let's say we wanted it 60 inches wide by 66 inches long, right? Matt, I'm running out of space here, but if you wanted to do the afghan pretty much square, which would be amazing, so you would want to double whatever you did for the wrap to make it an afghan, and that way it would be 60 inches wide by 66 inches long. So if it's 5, so that would mean we would want to do 12 repeats. Foundation single crochet, I believe it can also be called a chain-free single crochet, but if you follow the pattern and you like the way that I described how to create a foundation single crochet, and that is the same as the way you've heard it said somewhere else, then yes, they are identical. And if you prefer a different technique, by all means use a different technique. A pattern is a jumping off point, so whatever you want to do, you are more than welcome to use any pattern as a jumping off point to add your own creative spins to it. And lost my train of thought. Hold on. What I was going to say is that there's no wrong way to be creative as long as you like your results. So if you don't like foundation single crochet and you want to do a chain first and then work single crochet into the chain, that's fine too. But just keep in mind that you're going to want to make sure that you're getting the right gauge. Make sure that you're getting the right stretchiness. Make sure you like the results, because again, there's no wrong way to be creative as long as you like your results. That's the key. And if you don't like your results, that's when you go back and figure out if there's other choices you could make and other things that you would like to do to modify in different ways. Okay, so if 30 inches was done in 6 repeats and we're doubling, this is 12 repeats. I could figure it out longer, but I'm just going to do it quickly because we'll probably run out of time if I don't do this. So this is the afghan, and it's 12 repeats of the pattern. So it's 12 times 20 plus 2, 240 plus 2, 242 foundation single crochets and 12 balls of yarn. Now, let's say on the shawl or on the afghan you're like, 66 inches. I'm not sure I want it to be that length. I want it to be longer. Fine. keep in mind, the bigger you make something, the more yardage you need to add on. So if you wanted this longer, or you wanted to add fringe, or crochet chain fringe, or anything else, just keep in mind you will have to add more yardage for something like that. But this is the very simple math for keeping the same length of 66 inches, assuming that your gauge is correct and all the other things are correct, to go from a 10-inch scarf with that 66 inches long in a stitch pattern that is a multiple of 20 plus 2, you would either need 42 stitches for the scarf, 122 stitches for the shawl, or 242 foundation single crochet stitches for the afghan. And here's the best part. The video and the pattern will work for all three. Everything is written out so that you follow the repeat and then do the plus on the end. So no matter how many times you need to repeat it, whether it's 2 times, 6 times, 12 times, 100 times, it doesn't matter. The way the pattern is written and the way it is described in the video as well is to tell you what the extras are on the edges, what the repeat is, showing you what the repeat is, and then saying repeat this as many times as you need across. And you notice I always say it like that in the videos too. And I say it like that in the videos with the intention of helping not only people that want supplemental help on my patterns to follow them exactly as written, but also to help people that want to modify them. And these are the things that, I know you've got lots of choices out there for where to buy your yarn and where to download your patterns and where to get your ideas from and where to be inspired about being creative. But these are the things that are value add when you shop with me, right? You can download a pattern anywhere on the internet. You can buy any old ball of yarn on the internet. Where are you gonna, there are very few places where you can go where you get this much value add information, whether it's getting the pattern plus the charts, plus the supplemental video tutorials, having access to amazing customer service with Judy, who also keeps me on top of things for all of the things that I need to help people with. Judy helps me so much, not only in answering the quick questions to help you quicker than I can, because I've got so many balls that I'm juggling at one time, but also keeps me organized for handling the more technical questions that come my way. But that kind of customer service does not exist everywhere. And you know this. You've contacted other companies and waited days, weeks, and months for a reply. And you know how I know? Because a lot of you have contacted me in companies that I've worked with over the years, that I've represented over the years, haven't gotten back to you about their products. For example, companies that I've written books with or designed patterns for. You've contacted them for support for the things that are not my intellectual property anymore, but are theirs, and then haven't gotten return emails or return customer service support from them, and come to me for help anyways. And guess what? I've helped people when they've done that as well. You don't get that kind of service everywhere. You don't get this kind of value add in patterns everywhere. And I'm not sitting here trying to toot my own horn, but I am saying that there is a lot of value add and a lot of thoughtful things that go on behind the scene here. Yeah, I don't know, just had to say it. For all the people that say blah, 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 and moan, 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 you know what? There are a few places that are better value add than this place right here. And we are very proud of how hard we work, and we're very proud of the quality of work that we put out. Oh, another person I need to shout out for is Grace, who does an amazing job doing the technical editing of my patterns. So we've got Judy, we've got Grace, we've got all our amazing moderators here that keep things clean and safe from all of the crazy comments, and which makes everybody feel safer for leaving their comments and sharing in the morning. So we've got a great team here, and I'm not saying other companies don't have great teams. Also, I'm not dissing anybody else by saying this, but you'd be hard-pressed for finding better quality elsewhere. I will say that. There is other quality out there, but there are very few places that may or may not even be better quality than what we offer here. So thank you all for being here. I know you have lots of choices, but the reason I go the extra mile is because I appreciate the fact that you have other choices, and I want you to feel comfortable and safe being here, and I want you to enjoy the time that we share talking about crafts, and I want to empower you to be even better with your crafts and to enjoy them and enjoy them more. All right. Does anybody have any other questions about this tutorial this morning? I feel like this has been a lot of really helpful information. And all of this is based on the yardage of using the same yarn and getting the same gauge as well. Thanks, everybody. Oh, I do, and so this actually brings me to the next item. Although I'm not ready to share yet today. But I think, what are we at? 937 episodes today? I think around the 950 mark, I am going to make the announcement about what we're going to do to celebrate the 1000th episode. If you're on my mailing list already, great. That's where I will probably ask. I will talk about it here on the 950 episode. I will also reach out in an email, and that will be the best way to reply, I believe, because what I'll be, the way we're going to celebrate the 1000th episode is collectively with our whole community, and I think you're going to love it. I know I'm going to love it too. And so on the 950 episode, I will be sharing what the plan is, and that will give us 10 weeks to put it together, roughly. And yeah, if you're on my mailing list, that will make it easier for you. If you're not, we'll figure out a way for everybody to be able to participate if they want to. But yes, I know that over the last 938 episodes, I've made a point to not do anything special on any milestone. And to be honest with you, the whole reason was the 1000 number has been the one that I've been excited about. Not that it was my end goal, but it was the goal that was most important to me. I remember when I created the title for the first episode, I created the title with 001, not just episode 1, because I always knew that I wanted to do a lot of them. And even though I didn't do 0001, once I did those 3 zeros, the goal was always to surpass, or those 3 digits, the goal was always to surpass those 3 digits and get to 1000 episodes. You know, and again, just to do something that, I don't know, do you know, probably Gary Vaynerchuk has reached 1000 episodes at this point, but I don't know of anybody else who has done 1000 episodes of much of anything. Maybe some TV shows. Probably the Johnny Carson show reached 1000 episodes. Anyway, I'm just saying it's a rare level. It's a rare level of achievement that not everybody gets to, and so I'm extremely proud of it. And I would not be doing this, I would not be reaching this milestone with all of you, so it felt really important to share with you, and I think you're going to love what I've come up with to share with you. But anyway, that's about it for the tease. Excuse me. So on the 950 episode is when I'll start talking about it. And then we'll have roughly 10 weeks or roughly 50 episodes for all of us to work on our parts of it. Here comes another tease. We've all got parts to work on to create it, but it's going to be awesome. Anyway, what else was I going to... Oh, I made some progress on my knit shawl in Be So Luxe last night. Made quite a bit of progress on my second color. So this was Sea Breeze and Tropicana Cabana. As soon as I finish that, I'll get to work on my next 3 colors. Very excited about that. Does anybody have any other questions about this tutorial? Again, this is based on same gauge, Be So Vivid yarn, getting the same gauge so that your yardage requirements would be roughly the same for the scarf, which means that's the basis for doing all of the math to create a shawl that's 30 by 66 and to create an afghan that's 60 by 66, which would bump up your stitch count from 42 to 122 to 242 and would increase your balls from 2 to 6 to 12. You know what else would be pretty to do with this is if you pick 2 colors of Be So Vivid yarn and did that self-striping in stripes. That would be really fun too, so that you could mix and match a couple of colors for the 6 and the 12 balls, and you create even more stripes if you wanted to. You know, there's no wrong way to be creative if you like the results. You want to add more color to something? Great. You want to take color away so that you focus more on the texture? Great. Prime example, the Layla shawl here. This is the one that I did in 5 colors of Be So Baby yarn. And I did 5 different stitch patterns. Now if you did this in 1 color, you would actually see the change in stitch patterns better. I'm not saying one is better than the other, but what if you enjoyed making this and you wanted to do a different variation? Do one in 5 colors, do another one all in 1 color, and you'll see that the stitch pattern ends up being more pronounced in the all 1 color version, because you're not having to focus on multiple things. You're focusing, when you look at this, you're focusing on texture and color. You know, you take one of those variables away and you focus more on the other one. So even though I absolutely love this in 5 colors, it would be equally as beautiful and in a way really different doing it in 1 color instead. So there's always more options. There's always more ways to be creative. No matter what a pattern tells you to do, there are always more ways to modify a pattern and make it different. Does anybody have any questions about that? Thanks, Marcia. Hopefully I don't run into that rattlesnake. Hopefully it's not a rattlesnake on my way back. Whew. Thanks, Judy, for posting links. I'm guessing someone had questions about that pattern. Hi, Dawn. Does anybody have any other questions? All right. Yes, the Ayla knit shawl is an easy pattern. You can follow there's a pattern and there's also a supplemental video tutorial if you want a little extra help. Okay, here is the water, and you can see it's still a little rough today, but it's definitely calmed down quite a bit, and the clarity of the water is actually reflecting of that. You can see it's not nearly as clear as it is on a super calm day, but you can see through the water, and it is more clear today because the waves have calmed down. Ooh, there's some pelicans out there. Oh, what a beautiful day. I would love to stay and sit here and relax after the show, but I have to get back to work. Okay, well, let me do a close-up of the board just in case anybody wants to screenshot that. Okay, does anybody want to screenshot that? You can screenshot it now. I thought that might be helpful to have. Okay, and then well, thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the beach, the colors, the sound of the waves, my show and tells, the demonstration on the board, chatting with me and everyone else here. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you tomorrow for the next episode of the Kristin Omdahl Show. Bye-bye.